I've only heard one person ever talk about this, and they only had a very surface understanding, but the place is called Srinagar, Kashmir, the real Jesus tomb. The world needs to hear this story. It's really a mind-blowing story.
But this story shatters Christianity completely. Just imagine somebody would open the tomb of Jesus, and there we would find the body of someone and some inscriptions that he was that and that, which would be a catastrophe for Christianity. So nobody has an interest to open this tomb. Nobody wants to have a religious war.
Where's that located, and what is this all about?
Well, Srinagar is in the highland of Kashmir. Kashmir is part of India. So it's far up there, roughly more than 3,000 meters high, I think. And there are different temples. One of the temples near Srinagar is called Martand. I mix them, Martand. And then the problem is in Srinagar, there is a tomb of Jesus. And it's a fact, that tomb of Jesus. You know, when I was up there, I had the chance to speak extensively with the boss, the chief of the archives of Srinagar. And he showed me some old folios, old writings, where a discussion between the ruler of Srinagar and one of the visitor was there. And in this discussion, you see that Jesus Christ, our Jesus Christ, was up there, and he died up there. Still today, you can go to a street, and the street has a name of Jesus. You come before a small house, and in this house is a tomb. The tomb is completely closed by a gitter, by fences. By the way, I have Ramon next to me who helps me to translate English from time to time. So
yes,
this room is closed. There is a tomb inside. You see the tomb, but you cannot go inside. And the locals swear you, this is the tomb of Jesus Christ. I mean, according to our Christian knowledge, and I myself am educated as a Catholic, we all believe that Jesus Christ did not die, that he went into heaven with his body. But there the local legends say, no, together with the Holy Virgin Mary, he and two other persons, he went, you know, Jesus was crucified. But according to this story, he did not die. He was still alive. Then they saved his life. They make him healthy again. And then Jesus, together with a few persons, worked up to Srinagar. Why to Srinagar? At that time, at Jesus' time, the whole Mediterranean Sea was occupied by the Romans. What today we know as Africa, North Africa, we know as Greek, we know as ex-Yugoslavia, etc., Italy, that was all Roman Empire. So he could not go to the Roman Empire. He would be catched or immediately. So the only way he had is to go out of the Roman Empire. And that was the way to the east, to Srinagar. So he went together with 2 or 3 persons, including his mother. By the way, on the way to Srinagar, there is a chapter with the name Mary. And there his mother, the mother of Holy Virgin Mary, died and is buried. And he came up to Srinagar, and this is proven because we have documents where he had discussions with the ruler and he tells to the ruler, I was living at that place we call today the Palestine, and I preached the religion, the idea of peace, of love, understanding together. But the local people did not like my idea. They hated and they wanted to kill. So I had to leave my home, and he goes up there.
Wow,
so Jesus died according to this in Srinagar, the highland of Kashmir.
Yeah, that's so amazing, because I just interviewed Timothy Hogan, who was a Templar and also a Mason. And what you're telling me aligns with the story that he was telling me yesterday in the podcast. It links up perfectly. It's really we need to do a documentary on this place. A documentary needs to be done, some research on site. I'm going to fly there and start interviewing people and trying to get more information, because I think the world needs to hear this story. It's really a mind-blowing story.
But this story shatters Christianity completely. Just imagine somebody would open the tomb of Jesus, and there we would find the body of someone and some inscriptions, that he was that and that, which would be a catastrophe for Christianity. So nobody has an interest to open this tomb. Nobody wants to have a religious war.
Right. That's true. I know they don't. That's one of the reasons why they suppress a lot of this information, because it will change the whole paradigm. Everything will change. Ideas, understandings, beliefs, everything will shift in the blink of an eye.
That's absolutely what they say is correct.
Yeah. There's another amazing place you went to, Buritica. Oh, am I pronouncing that right? Yeah.
Buritaca 200. Buritaca 200 is a gigantic city in the jungle of Colombia, South America. I was there, I guess I was there 2 or 3 times. You know, everyone knows maybe from pictures Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is this Inca ruin in the Andes. And Buritaca, which I'm talking now, is 3 times bigger than Machu Picchu. Wherever you go, wherever you work, it's on a mountain. It's artificially stone. You can look up, you can look down, you can look right, left. You always stand on stones, artificial stones. There was a gigantic building there, or many buildings. Again, I repeat myself, today they call it temple, but I think it was completely different than temple. But why? We have no inscriptions, we have no writing, there are no writings there. It's all completely, anonymous. Anonymous.
Yeah,
but
anonymous,
Madol is one of these places where I suggest you should go. It's easy to travel today. You can go to Colombia with the city Santa Marta. The city on the Colombian and on the Caribbean coast is Santa Marta. There you can take a helicopter and they fly you directly into Buritaca.
Oh, beautiful. I'm definitely going to add that to my list also. You know what? Sometimes I find that the places that don't have any writings, that are anonymous, it seems like they definitely had a different purpose, and that people later on came and then made it into a quote unquote temple because they were honoring the gods that built it. Do you see the same idea?
Absolutely the same idea. But the problem is, you know, our world was destroyed many times. That's not Erich von Däniken's idea. This you can read, for example, in Plato, the Greek historian Plato, 2,000 years ago. They say different civilizations existed before. They were all destroyed. And in fact, we know, for example, we had gigantic libraries. We had the Library of Pergamon, which is in Greece, with more than 100,000 volumes. We had the Library of Alexandria with 200,000 volumes. Where are all these books? They are all destroyed, mostly by natural catastrophes, but not only by natural catastrophe. Often we humans simply destroyed the civilization. When we, Western people, we came to Central America, to the culture of the Maya, we found hundreds and hundreds of writings of the Maya. What was the result? Bishop Diego de Landa at that time, he simply gave order, destroy everything. It's all a lie, what they tell us. So the rulers of a new place, they don't want to know the antiquity. The antique knowledge should be destroyed completely. And we have done the same thing with the Maya. We have done it in different places in the world. So you have as well natural catastrophes which destroy everything. Then you have our humans who destroy everything. The books did exist. They were there. We should know what happened in the past, but we know nothing. We are just guessing today. It was like this. Then we find ruin, and of course we call it temple. I think it had nothing to do with temple.
Yeah, makes sense. It's unfortunate, but that's the only way that another culture can come take over and rule over another culture. To destroy their history is the best way to wipe their memory and take over and rule over them. And it's happened a lot of times.
Yeah, that's what happened all the time.
Yeah,
we Christians did the same thing. For example, when we Christians came to Ethiopia, which is in Africa, there was a wonderful Ethiopian culture of the old kingdom. We destroyed everything.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's another place you went to called Yemen, the Hoover Dam of Bilqis.
Yemen, Bilqis.
Yemen, Bilqis. Yeah, you know,
J is a Yemen.
You see, Yemen is the southern part of Saudi Arabia. There is a land with the name of, in Germany we call it Yemen, and there the queen, today we call it the Queen of Shaba, Queen of Sheba, was leaving, the Queen of Sheba, and the locals called her Bilqis. And we have reports, definitely from Ethiopian sources, that King Solomon was in love with her, and King Solomon visited her in today's Yemen several times with his flying machines. And that's not just imagination, because in the old Arabian text, they tell us how fast Solomon's machine were, that they on one day they made the route of many other days when you were on foot, and he was flying over the city. He was flying over the obelisks. The obelisks were shattered. The buildings were shattered. So King Solomon definitely had a flying machine, and he visited the Queen of Sheba, Bilqis, in today's Yemen several times.
Yeah, just yesterday I was talking to Timothy Hogan, who's a Knights Templar and a Freemason, who told me that he read some of the text to me or referred to some of the text that talks about King Solomon flying in an airship to go see Queen Sheba and meet her several times in a ship that flew over the land, and that the knowledge of this is well known in this text that refers to this flying ship, which is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is, this is the knowledge which they have over there. We in the West, we hear nothing. And when we hear something, only a few people here, we call it mythology, we call it legends. But it was fact, it was truth. Because not only King Solomon's flying machines were described, even the speed which they had, and the city, the ways, the route, where they were flying, which city he overflew, etc. So we have the details. It's not mythology. It was once reality. Yeah.
Is this information in the holy book of the kings of Ethiopia?
Yes, that's called the book is called Kebra Negest. That's the story of the kingdoms of Ethiopia.
Wow. I need to get that book immediately. I have to find a copy.
Well, there is an English version. I know an English version.
Okay.
You will find it. You will find it in big libraries. You will find it.
Okay. Thank you. I will get that immediately. I'm learning. What I love about talking to you, Mr. Von Daniken, is when I talk to you, I learn something every single time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, that's the best, because I talk to a lot of people, and sometimes you pick up some information, but like you're just a wealth of knowledge. You're a walking library. And so it's an honor, man, because I'm getting so much new knowledge now. I'm going to go research for another 10 years. Okay. Also, what do you know about these worldwide underground cities, and why did people need to go underground?
This is a great question. The world is full of underground cities. The most known here in Europe are in Turkey. They are called Derinkuyu and Kaymakli. These are two cities with 13 stories beneath the earth, and they are linked together with tunnels. Some of these tunnels are more than 8 kilometers long. And in the meantime, we know that only in Turkey, in that geographical region, there are around 30 underground cities. Now, I know from Colombia, I know from Ecuador, that all over the world, people have made cities underground or a city location to live. And I have asked myself the question, why? What for? Now, the first idea, which in archaeological literature, they tell us, is because they were afraid that they want to hide themselves against the enemy. But that makes no sense. The enemy simply could close the entry and they would die of hunger after some months or there. Then it was said, no, it's not because of was ist die Anderung gewesen?
Überflutungen.
Yes, because of wie sagt man das auf Englisch? Overfloating, that the water would come. Makes no sense either. When the water comes, for example, a glacier melts, well, the water will go in these underground cities too. So it makes no sense. So whatever the reasons were we found, they all make no sense, except they were afraid of something from above. What could be afraid of something from above? I have no idea, but I speculate they must have been afraid from extraterrestrials. Now, I'm a friend of extraterrestrials. I love extraterrestrials, but I know in the past, because we have written records on it. There were not only friendly extraterrestrials, there were unfriendly extraterrestrials also. In the old writings, we have descriptions of the war between extraterrestrials, one group against the other group, etc. Extraterrestrials fighted against each other, even with atomic bombs. Because in some of these writings, they write that even the unborn child died in the womb of the mother, unborn child, because it all was poisoned. And they describe atomic bomb because of the lightning and all this. So I guess our ancestors worldwide were afraid. That was the reason why they went underground, because every other reason, capturing water makes no sense, but to be afraid of somebody and wait makes a certain sense.
Yeah, right. You know, I just came back from Göbekli Tepe, Karahan Tepe, Derinkuyu. And when I was down inside of Derinkuyu, I recognized the extreme level of sophistication and the amount of effort it would take to build that. They try to say that Neolithic people had something to do with building this. It's impossible, because when you understand the amount of mass of soil that need to be removed and volcanic rock that need to be removed to build that, you have to have advanced knowledge that it's going to work. Because if you build it wrong, it's going to collapse and you're going to die in there.
Of course.
So these people built it. There's no evidence of any collapse. They knew exactly how to disperse energy and weight loads so they can build this thing that huge and that deep, which means they had a sophisticated understanding of mathematics, and they knew that it was going to work before they built it, because you can't take the resources of a civilization to build something that might fail. So it tells me right away, advanced knowledge. That's what I feel.
Definitely. I fully agree with you. Advanced knowledge means planning. Planning, something like engineering. Now they tell us that Stone Age people did it. Stone Age people had no planning, had no engineering. You have to calculate, as you said before, because there are not only rooms, there are connections between the rooms. There are different stories, etc. Planning is engineering. Engineering means writing, designing. And they tell us was made by Stone Age. Forget it. We have to rethink all this. But they don't like to rethink. You know, our society is so proud and so stupid. We think we are the greatest. We are the best one. Let me add this shortly. Generally, in our society, we have two groups of humans living here. One group is sure everything was made by God, the Almighty God. He created everything, the flowers, the plants, the trees. But as crown of creation, he made us. And the other group is scientific, say, no, it's all evolution, mutation, but we are at the top of evolution. Have you ever remarked that in both cases, religion, the crown of creation, evolution, the top of evolution, we take ourselves as the most advanced, the best of all them? We have to become humble a little more and learn we are nothing special. We are one of the thousands and thousands of civilizations out there. There were civilizations who were here. We had contact with them. I'm a specialist in them. We have been visited by beings from outer space many times, and I even go further and say, today they are here again. They observe us. So why does this knowledge not go to public? The public is afraid of it. When a scientific group would announce we are not alone, we say, hey, extraterrestrials, is everything wrong? We have been learning before. Will they kill us? Will they enslave us? Will they steal our raw materials? What do they want from us? So we are afraid. The time has to be prepared. The time has to be right before such a knowledge can go to the public. And slowly, the spirit of time is changing, slowly.
Yeah, absolutely. The spirit of time is definitely changing. This has been an amazing podcast with you, Mr. Von Daniken. Tell people what website they can find you on and where can they buy your books.
Daniken.com.
Daniken.com. Daniken, like my name. Daniken.com. That's all.
Yeah, there you find everything.
Okay, beautiful. We'll link that, Daniken.com, in the caption of this video and in the audio as well. And we'll make sure we share this information with everybody and give you some copies of the video as well so that we can share it and get everyone to go to your website. And make sure you guys go out and get Erich Von Daniken's books and all of his information, because he's a wealth of knowledge.